You are still with us right here on Morning Rush. It is a beautiful day. Sun is out and it's incredible right now. I feel great. And yesterday I was going through my social media pages and sorts, and I actually came across this book that I'm holding in my hand, which says, "I still dream of my mother." I was just going through this randomly and I'm like, oh, this looks like something nice. But I didn't know that I would actually be sitting with the author of this book in the studio this morning. And his name is Charles Mushinga. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning, Marisa.
How are you today?
I'm good.
It's always a pleasure. Charles, now you are no stranger to this building. You are no stranger to us. But you are a former journalist, and now you are based in Nottingham in England. You lost your mum in 2024, and this rendition is a rendition of poems that you have been writing throughout that process of grief. Tell us about this journey. What does it mean to you?
Well, it's a fulfillment. It's a fulfillment of my mother's life, and it's also a fulfillment of my career as a writer. Because you will not believe this, but everyone who follows me on social media knows that I've been writing since 20 years ago.
Right.
But this is my first published work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have books that I posted on Facebook up to chapter 29, but I still didn't release them. And my mom would always say, why do you write if you don't publish? You have to get this done. And I only listened to her when she was way beyond the grave.
Yeah.
But this book is really not an intentional book. You know, it was just my way of expressing my pain. Mm-hmm. Most of these poems were just anger, pain, anguish.
I think
just
going
speaking.
through the process, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've been going through the process. Even as I'm reading some of the topics, it says borrowed joy. You have one that says gone. Mm-hmm. You think about your father as well in this poem, and it says, "I'm sorry, Baba." And maybe you can maybe talk to us about that process of now when you look at your dad, how was it different when your mom was alive and to how it is now?
You know, I think if you were to look at it objectively, I think I'm one of those fortunate people that grew up in a basic household with their father and mother both alive and life just going normal, you know. So I didn't even think of life without one of them. Not at all. And I'm 44 now. It just dawned on that morning, last year, February 18, when I got a phone call. I was at work and I didn't have to answer a phone call because I was at work. The rules are quite strict that side. But then my cousin said they had an accident the night before.
Right.
So I thought it could be about them. Yeah. So I answered the call, and my brother-in-law was like, "Kumusha kuna kumira mushe." I said, "Kumusha is in Zimbabwe." And then he said, "Yeah, kunotombo mira mushe tsano." And then I said, "Is Amai dead?" She wasn't sick, but that was just the one question I wanted him to say no to.
Right.
Yeah. And then he kept saying, "No mira mushe."
So you didn't understand, and that
I didn't understand because she had been sick for 2 days. So to then come to your question, I wonder what it was like for my dad as well, because she would always say, "I have a headache, come get me." She was a spoiled mom, to be honest. There's 8 of us kids, and we've spoiled her. You know, we built a mansion for her in Murewa. She has everything that we didn't have when we were in Harare. You know, gas, washing machine, running water, solar energy, everything. We sorted it out. So whenever she wanted something, I would leave my job here at H Metro. I remember my editor, I would just go and say, my mother said she's sick, but you know her. And then I would rush to bring her to West End Hospital or something. And after a couple of hours, she's released.
Yeah, I suppose that picture paints the love and appreciation that you children had for your mom and what she did. And, you know, just going to that, I look at the poem number 10. It says, I want to sit down with Amai. And you write, we never really sat down with Amai, not to talk about her, not the way I wish I had, not the way we needed to. And it just shows you the actions. You may not have sat down to know her more, but your actions when she did call, you were right there. In seeing how you are now as a father, and you see other people parenting, what change would you make based on this poem, I want to sit down with Amai? Like you said, you'd never had done that. Are you making strides to do things differently, or is that something you thought about?
Well, I was writing from a child's perspective,
okay.
So I can't really apply that in my life.
In your life, right.
But I think my children do know everything about me.
Right.
Because I'm a bit of an egocentric character. You know, I'm a writer, I want attention to myself, so everyone knows about me.
Knows the story.
Yeah, but my mom was different.
Okay.
She concentrated more on me and on us than she did on herself. So I don't think we really did know her story. For her to tell us what would happen when she was very young, I could say I might need to sit down with her for that, but I don't think she will still give me an opportunity. I think given another chance, it will be like that again.
The reverse, yeah, she'll always be talking about.
Yeah, she'll always be saying, so what have you done there? Can you help your sister or your brother in that? Did you achieve that? It was always about her kids. She is the most beautiful mother you ever dream of.
Right. Yeah. I love that. I love your love for your mom. I love your love of the stories and just the memory. So we talk about your mom passing away in 2024. Your grieving process was written down. Is this the only way you expressed it, or would you say that you're in a better place now? I'm never gonna say over it, because you can never get it. I mean, I've lost both of my parents, and I think about them every day. And you know, they died 24 years ago. So I from the process of last year through your writing, how has that helped you? Has that ministered to you, or what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I've always written for fun.
Okay.
But then this time it was different, because if you see my prologue, I was on the plane. When I heard that news, it was 7 a.m. in the morning. And when my wife said, I was due to travel to Zimbabwe for the first time since I had left, which was 2022, just to see her in 10 days.
From the day
she died, right. Yeah. So she died February 18. I was due to travel to Zimbabwe February 28. And when I heard the news and my wife said, when do you want to go? I said, today, because I wanted to believe it. And we got a plane for that same day, but we were in different seats, you know.
Okay.
So I remember I had an Asian and a white lady sandwiching me on the plane. And I was just sobbing.
Wow.
And I couldn't stop. And so I thought, let me just write it down. And what I was writing down is actually something positive. I said, I can't love her any more than I've done,
right.
Even given another lifetime. You know, she's the woman that I would run to. I would drop playing football if she appeared by the street corner, and I would run to her. So that's when I started writing. And I remember I posted that on Facebook. A week later, I said, I can't post it now because I don't believe it. But a week later, we had buried her, and I said, okay, so maybe my Amai is gone.
Right.
And I posted it. And then the same emotions kept coming. You know, I wanted to talk to people like you, people who have lost parents, and I wanted to ask, does this ever end?
Right.
Do you get to a point where you start smiling?
Right.
And I didn't have these people, so I would ask the questions through poetry.
In your writing.
Yeah. And
have you managed to get these answers through your writing?
Yes.
Okay.
Not just through my writing, even through this whole year
journey
that have gone by. I've finally accepted that this pain will never go away, but I have to channel it in another direction. Right. It's like an energy, you know. So it could destroy me,
Yes.
but it could also build me into a better person. That's why I'm glad this is out, because she has inspired me to do something that I was procrastinating for a very long time. So now, even beyond the grave, my mother is still useful.
You've answered. She's been answered.
Yeah.
So where do we get this book?
Well, for now, I only have physical copies that are here with me.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it with Innov 8. We haven't finished the deal.
Okay.
And Tisu Mazwi.
Okay.
They are also going to be distributing it. But for now, if you get in touch with me on my social media accounts, I'll be able to provide a copy. I have an office here in town,
okay.
you know, at Tisu Mazwi, and that's what I'm using until I leave on the 26th.
Okay, what are your social media handles?
Charles Mushinga on Facebook, at Charles Mushinga on X, and at Charles Mushi with a Y.
Okay.
That's on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Look, this is a great rendition. Look, it's such a small book, but so full and so packed of wisdom. And we can hear your mom's voice in this. We can see the kind of man that you are. We know that your mom really raised proper children. You'll say proper children. And maybe just to finish off this interview, Charles, what words of comfort maybe would you now say to somebody who's going through what you experienced that very day you got that call? Maybe you can address them in that camera right there.
Okay. I think I would say pain is not easy to deal with, but we are in a situation where we always have to deal with pain. So channel that energy towards a better you. Think of that person. I believe the dead know nothing. But think of what they wished for you when they were alive and strive to achieve that. That way they will have a positive impact in your life. Like my last poem says, keep wearing that smile, because my mother would want me to keep my happiness, because I was the most jubilant, jovial son she ever had. And she would want me to continue like that. So that is the same thing that the departed would want for anyone that was part of their life. And I would say strive to be that person, and you'll feel better about the loss. That's
some powerful words there, Charles. Thank you so much. And we remember to always celebrate the departed, always celebrate the things that they impacted in our lives, the things that they taught us. And, you know, we always strive to be better people because of their words of wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much,
and
Marissa.
Thank you for this great read, and thank you for making it available for everybody.
All right, enjoy the read as well.
Thank you
that's
so
your
much.
Copy.
Right, that's what we have, the time we have for this morning's interview with Charles Mushinga.